Hi there, this is Kathy Crow. Oh, I forgot about my Crow Cottage sign. I should have got that out. I keep moving it out of here because I don't want it to get ruined, because that window I look at it a fair amount of time, and I don't want to I'm trying to get my sound off on my I don't hear it, so anyway. All right. Anyhow, let me do that and that. I don't know what I just did. I think I undid. Anyway, thank you, ladies, for watching with me. You guys, again, there's always this little window that pops up, share now, and I thought it was sharing with everybody, and my list. It's like it goes out to everybody. I'm sorry if you don't want it. You could unlike me so that you don't get it anymore. But I think it's only sharing to this one lady, because then afterwards this thing comes up, and I'm gonna have to go back in my history and see what it's actually doing. Little things like that I just neglect. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's kind of cold today, isn't it? It's a little warmer. I just came in sitting on my porch watching the birds, because I just put some bird seed out yesterday, and they're very fun to watch. So it's a little warmer, but boy, this morning when I first got up, oh, it was so chilly. All right, we are going to do fancy phrases today. This is going to be a really fun one. I have several things planned, and I've pre-done some of it, because I'm going to emboss a couple of them, so I've already done the embossing on one of them. I figured you can bear with me as I emboss one, but I don't want to make you watch all of that. And this is, you're going to really love what we're doing. I'm going to do some sponging. It's just going to be fun. Kind of back to a more typical stamping card, thing without a whole bunch of layers. Thank you for sharing my videos. I'm reaching down here to get my little basket so that I can draw names, and we'll see who shares. This is for whoever shared my video last week. I like to do this. It's just kind of fun for me. And then I send you a $5 coupon if you get drawn out of the basket. So anyhow, go ahead and share. Oh, yay, I got a few people on. I guess if I put my glasses on, I can actually look over there on the computer and see who's with me. Awesome. Thank you, Trudy and Andy and Marty. I could see some people, but I wasn't exactly sure who was with me. So I hope you are having a good day and that your weather isn't too bad, because ours is actually dry, and the wind, oh no, I see it picking up a tiny bit again. Our wind is just, we're having our March wind apparently in February, and I'm not sad about that, because that means it's warmer and we're getting a little bit of an early spring, although they did predict, Andy, can you believe that they've said that it could get down to like 17 degrees one of the nights this week? I'm not happy about that. It's going to be super, super cold. Beautiful day. Oh, Marty, of course it is where you are. It's like, yeah, it's another beautiful, what kind of a day is it today? Oh, it's another perfect day. Lucky you being down there. That's fantastic. All right, we are going to, oh, you're welcome, Marty. Good, you got it. Wow, that was fast, actually. You got that pretty quick. All right, Trudy, congratulations, Trudy. You won today. It's nice to have always somebody a little bit different. I mean, it's nice to have anybody win, but I think it's been a little bit since Trudy's won, so congratulations, Trudy. All right, and thank you for sharing. And so I am going to go ahead and get started. Now today, remember, for those of us who are demonstrators, we get to order early. That's one of the reasons we are demonstrators, right? Not only do we get our discount, but we get to order early. And I saw that butterfly thing that they have out is really nice. Now this is the card, this is from our annual catalog, this Fancy Phrases. Does not have dies. You don't really need them. Because it's just, I knew it would be, when I saw it, I knew it was going to stamp up beautifully, but I was impressed with just how beautifully it stamps up. It's really, really nice. So you're gonna really like it. Now I'm kind of playing with my lights again, because I'd like a little more light here, but I need my glass mat today for sure, because we're going to be stamping sponging, and I need that, and yet I see my light is reflecting weirdly over here. If I can get it to just stop doing that, that would be helpful. All right, anyhow, we're going to keep going. Windy weekend and some rain. Yeah, we had our typical gale wind, you know, which is never fun. It probably could have been worse, but it was nothing damaged, you know, in the yard, so that's nice. I always get things that have fallen down. Now, on this card, I am using a couple of different colors. This is Flirty Flamingo, but I love this ribbon. This is our Blushing Bride glimmer ribbon, and it is fabulous. It's really just a regular Blushing Bride on this side, but this gold on this is so gorgeous, and we're going to emboss this image with copper powder. You could use gold, and that might even work better. I know I have gold in there. I just prefer copper. I don't know why, but I just do. So I'm going to go ahead and set these items aside. This is the card we're going to do, and we're going to get that little embossing. We don't have our embossing buddy anymore in the catalog. Isn't that sad? If you've got to have one, and they have them all over the craft stores, so I suppose they figured people weren't buying them or something. I don't know. Now, since I'm using white, I am not going to be able to see my Versamark. Now, I could use another ink pad, you know, but I just really like Versamark. Really grabs onto that embossing powder nicely, so I am going to use it. I'm going to put a little piece of paper under here to catch that powder when I get it shaken off. And I'm going to have to be careful, because what I'm doing is I'm going to just do it all at once. So I've got the 2 flower images, the little corner image, and 2 sentiments. And when I did this sentiment, it kind of got stuck into the flower a little. So this time when I do it, I'm going to try to remember to get it over to the edge just a bit more. I don't need to trim this. When I did this originally, of course, it was a little bit larger, because I always just do that so that I can trim it around the images the way I want it. But for timing's sake, I don't want to take a long time doing all of that. So this is what the size is going to be. Hopefully it turns out well. We are going to see. And then you'll see how I colored that, because I did not use what you would expect. So you're going to be in for a treat when you see what I've colored it with. So we've got our big floral image there, and we're going to put, I do really like this. When I count my blessings, I count you twice. That's nice. One thing I've really liked about this mat, this grid on this glass thing, is I can line up my block so that it's nice and straight, and because, you know, I can see through, and then get my sentiment lined up. Oops, let's put it up right side up here. Then I can get it lined up nice and straight too, right on my block. If my block is straight, and I get my sentiments on straight, I am more likely to stamp it straight. Now, it's not probably going to, but that is the hope, and this does help quite a bit in that. Let's make it go this way. Okay, I can get it just lined right up there, right on this line. And you can do this with any of our grids. There's a grid pattern on here too. It's just that the white lines on this I can see a little bit better. All right, so I've got that. Oh, I forgot. I got to get that little corner sprig out. We'll get that out. So I'm just getting everything set up so that I can go stamp, 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 shake, 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 and we can be off and running. So you want to make sure everything's all ready. It still seems kind of dark on my desk. I wonder what'll happen if I do that. It's been just like super, super bright in this corner when I put that light on. Yeah, let me turn it so that it's hopefully not blasting quite so much on the desk. This is really interesting. I've done this long enough, you would think that I could do this without having to adjust lights all the time, but the problem is that I'm not playing with this until I'm actually live. I should probably start doing that. All right, here we go. Let me get my powder out. Now, this is the black powder. I used that on one of the other ones. I know I just had the copper out. There you are. Okay. Got you out. We did the embossing buddy. Where did I put my actual card? Oh, good. There it is. I don't want any powder on it. I kind of do want to see what I did there, though. So, as I go. Okay, I think I'm ready. I did touch the card just again with my hand. So, of course, you know, every time you touch it, it's going to take all that powder off. So, all right, here we go. Wish me luck, ladies. This is it. This is the big, this is the big, is it going to work? We will see, because I won't know until I've done the actual powder, you know, the powder and everything. You just don't know. Now, I could do this, you know, little bit by little and all of that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just take a chance getting it on here. I can kind of see it a tiny bit. Not great, but a kind of tiny bit. And the other, I count you twice right down here. All right, so we'll set those aside. Put that away so I don't get powder all over it. And now we're just going to put our powder dump it all out pretty much, because, you know, I want to make sure it was covered really good. And I'll shake it around here, just to make sure everything was covered, because that was quite a bit of stuff on there. Now, see where my finger touched? You can see how that embossing buddy really works great to take off the powder. Look how clean that is, except for where my thumb was. So that's why it's really important to do that. That's looking really good. I'm going to set it down here for a second, gingerly, so that I can put my powder back in here. This is a very economical way to do really fancy cards, you know, with embossing powder, because although you spill like I just did out the back side of that, although sometimes there are accidents, generally it works pretty good. Get those little extras that I threw on there accidentally off. Now, some people flick it, and I have done that, but then I saw some other people say don't flick it because it gets too much of it. Then some of it comes off that you actually want on there. So you can flick it if you think you should, but I haven't been flicking so much. I used to flick, and now I'm not flicking. So are you flickers or are you not flickers? What do you think? All right, Trudy, you have Trudy, are you having good weather too? I see Andy is saying congratulations and on your good weather too. I think that was Marty who did that. I don't know. Trudy, what's your weather like? I'm not sure that weather has been great where you are. I don't really know. I'm not sure about that. All right, I'm putting that powder away. I do think I actually got a tiny bit of something in there. I think I'm gonna take this off. It actually got quite a bit of powder on there, and I really don't want powder all over this. But because this white really is bright, we're gonna have to bring in some things just to tone it down. Like, calm down over there in that corner, please. It's really not needing to be quite so bright, you know. Put a bunch of things over there and maybe that will help. Well, maybe I'll put my cleaning pad there. How's that? That's probably gonna work better. All right, now I do need to actually clean these things, so let's do that before it all gets all gummy. That Versamark works great. You can do water stamping, you know, with that on a dark cardstock. You can just stamp with that and it makes a nice dark image of the same color. It's pretty cool. Oh, you had snow. Oh, and it melted. That's good. Marty, you're a flicker? Yeah, I was a flicker. And sometimes you still have to, you know. I sometimes do have to anyway, whether I want to or not, because I don't know. Sometimes I think I use my embossing buddy better than usual. I was afraid to use it too much because it really gets a whole lot of powder on your paper, but I've learned it actually, the powder does, after you've made sure that embossing is cool and you're not messing it up at all, you can rub that off. So, all right, now we're gonna get this out and check it out. It's looking pretty good. Let me take a little paintbrush and just get off. There's that one little dot there. The trouble is, I'm noticing already, is my ribbon. I didn't leave room for my ribbon too much. We'll see how we get that on there. All right. Now we'll have to heat up that old embossing thing. Let me grab, this has, I can't really hold on to this one. There's just way too much going on there, so we will have to clip it here. Hi Linda, how are you? Thank you for sharing. Are you having a good day today? I hope so. What, did you guys get snow too? Trudy said her snow all melted, and that's pretty good. Actually, this time of the year, if there's snow, as long as it melts pretty quick, it can't do too much damage, I guess. All right, now I know this is taking a little while. That's why I'm not going to do the, I have another embossed one we're gonna do, but I embossed that one ahead of time. And that one was just with black. I love watching the copper change. Gold is really nice too, but I think, I don't know, I'm a big copper fan. Really like copper. Our rose gold is nice. Do we have a rose gold? I don't think we do. Embossing powder. This is very similar. It's called copper, but it looks like our rose gold to me. All right, now that is going to be hot. So let's gingerly. Yeah, it's pretty warm. If I'm quick, I think I'll be okay. All right, there we go. All right, now what I did to color it is I used some gel pens. Okay, let me put this down here so you can see what's going on. And I used, now this isn't quite the same shade. These are just cheap gel pens I got on Amazon. Long time ago, actually. They last quite a while. And that's looking a little more orangey than I wanted, but it is what I dragged over, so it's what we're living with, I guess. But it isn't quite the right shade, is it? Oh well, it'll be fine. Now, there's little, I didn't really mean to do that one. There's these little roses, and then that is too orangey. I'm gonna have to find the other one. This is not what I want. That color's not going to work. These gel pens came in a pack of like a whole bunch. There we go. That's a little better, although that's too pink. I thought I had the right one, but I don't. And once you've gone over it, you're kind of stuck. Now, you don't want to use your alcohol pens really on the embossing. It just dulls its finish quite a bit, and it actually can make it smear. Your markers, your Stampin' Right markers, you can use. All right, this is better. This is not quite the color I wanted either, but it's close enough. And this probably looks a little tedious. You don't have to be super careful. You're not really trying to color everything on the rose because you want your white highlights anyway, and I'm going to end up adding some of those in. But the gel pen actually covers pretty well. You don't want to cover your embossing, so you don't have to be super careful. This stamp set is just very forgiving. You don't have to. like be a super expert colorer here, and it's gonna look beautiful. Okay, I might not take the time to do all of this just because this is a bit tedious probably for you to watch, and there are quite a few buds. Let's see how quick I can go. I want to leave those white. Now these, have you ever seen, I think they're called Betty Boop. Little Betty Boop single flower roses. Oh, thank you, Marty. Good, Linda, you crafted, and that does make a difference in how your day goes, huh? Now, I think I used that one. Where's the, oh, here we go. This is a more of a lilac-y pink. There, I think it's Betty Boop. Now, she's got, Betty Boop is white, a little single white rose, but she has like a really magenta center. There's another one that's a white single rose. I think it might be called Catherine, but mine died. I've never really had it in my yard. I had it probably for, 2 months, and it died. So, but in the catalog, it had beautiful little white buds and little pink, just a little bit of pink around that stamen in the middle. It was so pretty. And I'm sure they have so many roses. I'm sure you have the name of one too that is very similar. That's white. And I think it had a wonderful scent. Oh, I was so disappointed when it never really materialized. The dead bush, I buy them, and they're dormant. And it usually takes about a whole year for them to really come into being, but in that first season, you'll see if it's alive or not, and mine never was. It just never really came to life. So I just thought, Catherine, you are a wash. And I think it was supposed to be a pretty hardy rose too. So those were the early days of gardening for me, and I oftentimes didn't water things adequately because it's really hot here, and roses do not like being in a drought unless they are already really well established. So that being a new bush and a bare root one, to boot, it was and it was in a place that was windy also, especially windy and hot. So yeah, it was the gardener, I'm sure, not the rose. It's probably a great rose. I was a little bit attracted to it because it was actually spelled my name correctly too. It was Catherine with a K instead of a C. Well, that's got to be good. I've got in my yard a rose for each of my kids. Now, the Joel rose, there's no Joel rose. So I had to buy a different plant for Joel. So I guess there isn't a rose for each kid. There is a plant, though. The other two kids, William and Mary, they have their own roses. And they're really nice, strong ones, too, which was nice. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish that there. And what do you think? It just jumps off the page, doesn't it? That bright. Now, you can take your gel pen. This is a number 8. And then just add, if you have, if you want to just add any. Oops, I got to let it dry. It's not quite going, and while it's drying, I'm gonna put my little green on here. Again, we don't need to be too careful because I'm just gonna white out a whole bunch of it anyway. Oops. Okay, there we go. This is a little different green than I used on that one, it looks like. So this Amazon pack was pretty reasonable. I got like a huge basket full of pens, gel pens, plus refills. I do want to say it was probably about $20-something. I'm not sure. It wasn't that much. And I'm going to use this on our next project too. And a little bit of yellow. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's, You can't beat gel pens on dark cardstock, but even on something like this, you can use them. As long as you don't want, you know, like super great coverage. If you want it to be really great coverage, then you wouldn't be happy with it. All right, let me get my number 10 out, because I do want just along where and you can go like that and get rid of some extra, because this is the number 10. It's coming out way too thick. Oop. I'm going to use my number 8 to try to cover up. I think my gel pen, when I opened the cap, it lost some ink right there. And my ribbon will probably cover that, but yeah, you're not really going. There you are a little bit. I don't really need to use this too much because I left a lot of white in there. But if I had covered it better, like you're going to, when you're first going to try this method, you're going to tend to cover it more than you probably wanted. And then you can go back in with a white gel pen. I'm not going to take a lot of time to do that. All right, so let's see if I think I probably end up having to, rather than tying the bow, because I really want it to lay nice and flat like this. So let's just trim it, and we'll tape it on the back, so I can just do a separate one. A separate bow. Oops, wrong side. I want the glittery side up. All right. The white gel pens I got at Hobby Lobby. They have them in sizes. So the number 10 comes out really thick and nice. So you want a number 10 for sure. And number 8 is thinner, so that you can manage the flow a little bit better. But I mostly use the number 8. I mean, excuse me, not the number 8, not the number 8. I mostly use the number 10. All right, now do not use use your Tombow. If you've got embossing or anything like that, the glimmer or embossing, do not use my contraband adhesive that you sometimes hear me sneaking in on the side, because that stuff will interact badly with your embossing. All right, there we go. Oh, so cute. Now my ribbon's not up quite as high as I wanted, but it's still not bad. And I'm kind of being careful just because I know I got that white spot right there. But yeah, the white gel pen, if you have little dots of, embossing, just little dots that come on here and there, like there's another tiny spot of, looks like black ink that I just now, you can cover it. It does have a little dot on it, so it's not like it's actually invisible, but it helps. All right, now this is the tricky part with this bow, because you want all of that gold to be shimmery showing. And of course it twisted as I did that. So we'll untwist you. And I've got a lot of white there too on my finger. I hope I'm not transferring that to my bow. There, pretty good. Let's grab my snips. All right, let's try a little mini dimensional, shall we? Let's see if that'll hold it on there good. All right, there you go. Oh, cute, cute. Oop. All right, there it is. And I just didn't quite get that right. There we go. All right, my mini dimensional is holding it on, but it sure is floppy, isn't it? Let's try a glue dot here. see if that'll adhere my bow on a little better. There we go. That's that's looking a little more stable. All right, that one is nearly done. I guess I can set it aside and we can go on to the next one, because I do want to show you the next one. It's very nice. Now, I do think I liked my colors on this one a little bit better. So it was a little more orangey, but I think that orange was the wrong orange. I don't know. All right, next card we're doing. This one, I have already got the embossing all done. Okay, so all I did was I just took, these are both standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Thank you, you guys. I'm glad you liked that one. This is just our basic black, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then this is the Field of Flowers DSP that's out right now for our celebration. Just a little piece on the side. I went ahead and just embossed it with our black embossing powder already. Where is it? There you are. So it's just our regular black embossing powder that I did exactly the same way as I just did. So instead of showing you all of that, I did it. And then I already tied the ribbon too onto it so that you wouldn't have to watch me struggle. This is just our real red ribbon. This is our real red marker. And on this one, I actually tried to use the alcohol pen, and that's when I discovered, I thought the alcohol pen didn't work, but I'd kind of forgotten that, and so it dulled it up. And then I took my gel pen and tried to shiny it back up again with a black one, and it worked, you know, it looked okay, but I wanted to make sure I warned you off of that. So use your marker instead, don't use the gel pen. And I'm just coloring these roses with real red. And then I'll do the same thing with my gel pen, trying to get a nice effect with those little single roses. But this time I'll use my number 10. And I don't want to cover up. Now see, it already did a little splotch. When you open it, this one pools ink really bad. So wipe that off on the side, and don't do what I just did, which is go right over the project, flump, because ink's going out when I do that every time. Just apply a little bit. It's flowing really fast. And if you're just starting, you might want to use that number 8 or a number 9 till you get the hang of how the coverage is going to go. This is working for me much better than our chalk white marker. I never was happy with the whiteness of that product. And I even used a white, I went down and bought a tube of that whiteout stuff that we used to use with our typewriters a long time ago, to see if that would work. And it does, it works good. But those things, nobody's using those anymore, so they dried up really fast, and it wasn't all that useful. But this works great. I can use it for my highlighting, and just look how that makes that pop right out. And then I can use this green also for the leaves. And because, you know, it's a gel pen, it will cover up that quite well. Although the thing is that your coverage isn't great. So this image has tons and tons of lines to, you know, to add all the detail in this image. And if it didn't have that, this wouldn't work so well. But with all of those lines, I don't need a ton of color on here. Okay, there we go. I think that's pretty much all of them. I'm not sure what's a leaf and what's a petal. But you do want to not color the embossing. You're just going in between those lines. And then, now where I use the white marker and I haven't used my gel pen, I could, you know, you can use your emboss resist method there and take off the red that got on your embossing. You see how that's coming up right off my finger? I could, if I wanted to be a little smarter, I could use a tissue and do that too. And that'll just take it right off your embossing, and it leaves it on the card, obviously. And I should have done that before I did the gel pen, but I didn't. I forgot. Okay. So let's see. Now I've got my number 8, so that I can just add, oh, just a little bit. Number 8, you're not working. I have another number 8. Let's find you. Because this one, for some reason, is not coming out. Do you see how much thinner that line is? All right, so then you can just kind of go around, oh, the tops, you know, where you would have highlighting. You just go around the top. Here and there. Very inexact science. It's this is art, so do not let yourselves be intimidated by artists who have rules about where light falls. I have watched so many videos about art and drawing and all of that, and it's useful information, but sometimes it can be intimidating. It's like, well, I don't know. I think the light's coming from here, but I didn't really like how that turned out. Just practice, because that's what's going to help you, you know, make better judgments on that. I don't know why. I don't know why I colored there. Okay, that's good enough. Isn't that cute? So then I would just put this on my cardstock, and that one's good to go as well. We're not done. There's several things I wanted to show you today. Oh, I actually have one ready to go. So let's mount that one. I can probably get that one on there, since it's already set up and ready to go. Oh, you don't like the white chocolate? Good, I'm glad I'm not the only one, Marty. I've done it with a lot of things. It's actually pretty good on crumb cake. If you do it on crumb cake and you want a more muted effect, sometimes that can be really nice. But if you really want white to jump out, it just doesn't. I don't care how many times you color it. It does not. And the other thing is that it can look good while you're working on it, and then you set it aside and come back to it a half hour later, and it's not even as bright as it was when you left it. So that's very disappointing. Especially when you're doing a daisy. I really like those daisies on dark colored cardstock. Really pretty. They've got to be white. So I haven't tried this with those daisies yet. I'm going to do that. I think that'll be really cute. All right. Now that card actually is finished. Now you could probably put, you know, doodads on here if you want to. That's always fun. All right. Now this is the last one, I believe. And this one is so nice. You're going to love this one. So I started with, this is 4.5 by 5.5, I believe, or maybe a tiny bit bigger, I don't know. I took my Blushing Bride, cut that for the mat that's going to be underneath that, so we'll set that aside. I've got our Quite Curvy Dies, and I just cut the Quite Curvy die 2 times on this. This is our metallic, I don't know, there's some kind of metallic thing. It's a pack of 2 metallics, gold and, no, 3, because there's gold, silver, and copper. So anyway, this is the gold, and then this is another sheet of Blushing Bride with our Quite Curvy die that I just used it, you know, 2 times in there. And I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I need to start with the background. So we're going to sponge that background first with Pineapple Punch. Now, I know Pineapple Punch is retired, but I'm not done with you. Pineapple Punch is probably never really going to go away from my kit. All right, so we're going to take yellow, and I'm going to cover this center with those, you know, with our Quite Curvy things anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just start right here in the center. It's going to come on a little stronger, but much of that is going to be covered, and so I don't care. Normally you would start off the side, you know. Now I'll do it here to show you what I'm talking about. You would start off the side and go on so that your yellow wasn't so bright in one spot. But for me right now, I'm going to cover that center part, and I don't want to have to clean off a whole lot of, that's a pure laziness factor here about why I'm starting in the center. But another reason is I actually do kind of want it to be brighter right there as well. All right, so we don't need a whole lot because I want to get our petal pink going here. I just wanted, you know, to have some brightness kind of emanating off of the center of this card. All right, and that is very bright. Now we're going to get out, what color did I use? I must have used Blushing Bride because that's the color we've got going. That's Pink Pirouette. That's not it. Where are you, Blushing Bride? I know you're here somewhere. And I don't think I got you out already. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so let me grab a pink brush. I think I've got one in here somewhere. I can't find it, so I'll just start with a clean one. I love these brushes, don't you? Haven't you been enjoying this? All right, so this time I'm going to have to go off the card and go on the right way. We're going to do it the proper way. I do want more color probably towards that center though, out again. This is where the whole flower is going to be. Doing it this way means I don't have to spend a lot of time coloring that flower. It's pretty much being colored right now. What you see is what you're going to get. Okay. Just want it to be kind of smooth and about the color that you want that flower to be. So you can make it as dark as you want or as light. I might try to leave it a little lighter down here. I'm going fast. I would normally be a little more cautious. See, I'm getting streaks, and you don't really want streaks. So, you know, if you're not moving as fast as I am because you're doing a video, it'll be much, much smoother and nicer. So don't follow my lead on that. You shouldn't have any of these streaks. If you're doing it the way I normally would do it, I would be making very slow movements, you know, more like this. And I wouldn't be inking quite as often either. I'd be, you know, trying to keep that nice and smooth. But I'm trying to get it done. So we're going to go ahead and do it like that. It's a little rougher than I probably would have liked, but I can fix that as we go. And I've used early espresso for the stamping part. All right, little stamp set. Where did you go? There you are. Okay, so Fancy Phrases. Using the same combination of When I Count My Blessings. I just used this early espresso. I thought of embossing it. It'd be pretty nice if you embossed the images, but I decided, we'll just do one embossing. I won't make you guys sit through 2 embossing sessions. All right, that's inked up good. Let's hope that it goes on well. It's going to have to go off the card some. So I'll have to do a little cleaning when I'm finished here. Maybe I should get this mat back out. Is that a smart idea? Okay, now I'm ready. So I want my flower here to go like about there. You are so gorgeous. I love this image. It's just so fun every time I do it. Oh, you got a set on Amazon? I'm not surprised. When I got them, I thought, I'll bet this has been out on the market for a while elsewhere. I bet it has. And I just, didn't really know. Okay, there we go. Oh, that is so cute. Now let me get that colored, or not colored. Let me get that wiped off. That's pretty dark ink. I don't really want that staining my stamp. And then we can get the sentiment out. Okay, so tell me, it says keep it in case you need it sometime. Does that go with a little something just for you? And then down in the corner, keep it in case you need it? Or is it sending a little smile your way? Keep it in case you need it sometime. I was a little, it's cute. It's kind of funny and cute and quirky. I wasn't really sure which one it goes with. Okay, so I'm gonna line up my stamp again this way. Let me stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, we'll get that one there. And this one right there. This is very helpful with these cling stamps, since I can't see through them to see what I'm doing. All right, so this one's going at the top, right there. And this one's going at the bottom. Now on my other card, I should have realized that's a little crooked. I think my image, I stuck the sticker on slightly different than it actually is, and I did it on the other card too, so I need to make a note of that on this stamp, that I've it's not exactly what I usually do. Is I just take my scissors and trim along the bottom, then I'll know exactly where that phrase is in position on that stamp, so that this doesn't keep happening every time I use it, because it was just slightly off when I did it on that one too. So if it happens once, I figure it's me, but if it happens twice, I think it's the stamp. Especially if it's off in exactly the same way, I think it's the stamp. And it's just, again, it's the way I did it. It's not a problem with the stamp, it's just that I stuck the sticker on a little wrong. All right, now we can get rid of that. Let me put my objects back over here so my white space isn't freaking that camera out. Okay, so the flowers are pretty much colored, but I do want to add just a little bit. So let me take a tiny bit of Flirty Flamingo. I think Flirty Flamingo is probably all we'll need, and some Just Jade. Just Jade, there you go. And mint macaron. All right, so with our light Flirty Flamingo, I have an extra one because the one's running out. I've got one that's not quite dead yet, but it's almost dead. I'm going to use this light part, and then just, this looks like Calypso Coral. It is. It's not, that is not Flirty Flamingo. I think I have 3 of Flirty Flamingo as well. Maybe not. Okay, there you are, Flirty Flamingo. Okay. Maybe I did want Calypso Coral. I definitely want the thin tip. So just, since the flower's colored, I'm just getting in just a little bit with the shading. So wherever those lines are, just putting in a little color. And then on the buds are always a dark color, aren't they? They're so cute. I've got my yellow crocus are out. They're up about this much. Of course, they're not opened. And I am so happy because I think the last 2 years our winters have been so cold that the yellow crocus has just barely made it even just about a little out of the ground by February 10. February 10 is the date that normally we have them up pretty far and sometimes open. A lot of times, in fact, open. Which is a really exciting thing for me because like February 10, woohoo! For me, that's the sign that spring is almost here. Spring is kind of just already here in my mind when I see little yellow crocuses out. All right, I've got some silly questions for you. Oh, wait now. You guys are talking about things that I missed out on because I wasn't paying attention. They're makeup brushes. Oh my goodness. Are they, okay, Marty, tell me now, if they're makeup brushes though, are they real brushes or are they sponges? Because see, this is like these are all individual little brushes. But I think Freddie had them too, so I'll bet she also got them as makeup ones. I bet they are. And I just was like, I can't believe I haven't known about this. Because this could have been changed. This is a game changer. Game changer for me. Okay, I do want my little white flowers to be white. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Let's do some yellow for the centers. Actually, I didn't use yellow on these. I'm not sure why I didn't. I think I was concerned that my early espresso might smear up my yellow blending pen. Okay. So I think I just did whatever color, and I might have used some Blushing Bride. I don't know. I think I might have a Blushing Bride in here. Or, oh, I know, it's a Pink Pirouette. Did you guys get these when they were out? I didn't even know they were. They are. They're just like SU. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for telling us that. That's awesome. All right, so this Pink Pirouette's been retired for a long time, and I was so glad I saw it before it went away. It was probably on the clearance rack because it is very good to blend, you know, to just do a little bit of blending, and it makes it's a very complementary color for your Blushing Bride. So I can get those a little darker. I think I'd put more ink. I just layered a little more ink when I did this earlier. And since I didn't, I'm gonna go ahead and just color this Pink Pirouette on there. Just to get those a bit darker, but I don't really want them a strong Flirty Flamingo. All right, I better do, I don't really want I think I'm gonna have to have just all white here because I can't use this over the top of a gel pen. Your pen will get ruined if you do that. Don't use these on the top of a gel pen. But if I'm gonna go over this with the gel pen, it's probably gonna cover up my ink. All right, just jade, just the light, just jade. And again, just pretty much the lines. Oops, that's a flower. kind of missed some of my petal. Oops. Get that pointy end there. All right. Are you guys ready to have some silly questions? I found a couple of really good ones today when I was looking at them. I was really enjoying them. Okay, so they're also called crafting brushes. Wow. That is so good to know. Okay, here is a silly question. If your house is on fire, actually I've heard this one before, you probably have too. If your house was on fire and you could only grab one thing to take with you, what would it be? And then they gave a hint for men. It says, don't forget about your significant other. Now, I'm not sure even what that meant, but I think the answer, and I wrote down, you cannot say your phone or your tablet. Everybody knows that the first thing you're going to take is your phone or your tablet, because for us, we do bills that way. So if there was a fire, I would still be able to do my bills. I think I'm needing the dark sea foam here. Yeah. So I could still do my bills and everything. And actually, a lot of our pictures are on computer now, but all the old ones, of course, are not. So for me, it would be pictures. I would definitely, after grabbing the computer, I would definitely grab, one of us would grab, I'd grab the computer, and Jeff and I have talked about it, and Jeff will get the pictures. We're planners. We plan for possibilities. You never know what'll happen, you know. Okay, so now you're going to take your little gel pen. That's the number 8, and I want the number 10 for your little white flowers. And again, it's kind of tricky. You don't want to cover up your lines. But even just a little bit of this white on here, it just makes that pop right out. So nice. Your dog. Both of you said you were going to get your dog. Of course, now I would put a dog almost in the same category as a person. Of course you're going to get your, oops, I don't want that there. Just the little singles, just the singles, not the doubles. I guess some people probably have fish. They probably wouldn't need to get their fish. But other than that, I mean, what pet would you wouldn't leave a pet. They probably want to get their fish if they could. It'd be pretty tough to save a fish. And I do think they might be a little bit more easily left. You could even hope that possibly in a tank of water they'd survive. You know, they could. They might possibly. If the fire department got there quick enough, they could. As long as that water didn't heat up too much, that could be really bad. Okay, so your dog, that makes sense. Am I the only one that has photos that are, ones that I would definitely want to get? Okay, so now I'm going to just add some white to the flowers the same way I did before, just on the top where that petal is going to be nearest the sun, hopefully. And you can do the same thing with the leaves, just a tiny bit though, barely, because those, otherwise you'll just end up with a whole lot of white on your leaves. And then it would not have made much sense to have even bothered to color them. Okay, here's another question for you. Oh, this is a funny one. So who is more likely to catch a crook? Okay, who's more likely to catch a crook? Herman Munster or Grandpa? Do you remember the Munster show? Did you like that? Which one, if they were going to catch a crook, in fact, there was probably an episode where they did do something like that. It was a pretty funny show. We really liked it. I remember watching it every day with my brother and sister, I think, after school. It was really funny. Oh, and then back up your drive. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I should take those pictures and put them on our... I have done a couple, you know, as I've shared them on Facebook, and I mean, that's one of the tasks I've always kind of set aside for myself and never actually done, which is... So you have to get a nice line, you do have to do two. Now I'm going to save this one. I'm not using that one. I'm going to just save it. I will use it at some point in time. Okay, but that one is the one I'm going to use. So I'll just save that over here in the corner someplace. And the same thing with this gold one. Actually, I think I'll just use this top one and then save this bottom piece. I'll probably put this whole piece on a card because that'll be quite nice. And then just to make things simple, I am just going to put some glue where I want it on these, and then you just stick it on there. And you could even separate it. That'd be kind of cool too, wouldn't it? If you separated it out. Kind of like that. Maybe I'll do one like that. Since this one's not, maybe I'll do it slightly different. What do you think? Separated or not? I don't want to cover up my stuff too much. I think I'll put them together. I think I'm putting them together. I'm putting them together. Now I could layer one on. I've got enough pink that if I do that, I can have my pink showing through there. So I think I'll do that. Won't that be nice? All right, so we'll put some glue right there. Thank you, Linda. Okay, so Herman Munster or Grandpa? Oop, I put the glue in the wrong place. I actually didn't want it there. But I'm gonna take my glue and sort of stick it onto that gold right from that paper since I got it in the wrong spot. There we go. Now it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, of course, on the bottom because, I mean on the sides, excuse me, because we're gonna snip that off anyway. Oh, come now. Stay, stay, stay. All right, there we go. Barely got glue on there. It's going to be good. All right, now we can put some on the pieces that are actually going to be on the card. Try to get the part that's not all gummy on my hand. Oh, so cute. I think I saw a similar design on Pinterest, so I don't know who did this first, but the Quite Curvy Dies really make everything look fabulous. Okay, now, you know what? A crook is not going to have a chance against Grandpa. You guys, did you not watch that show? How about the other one? How about Elizabeth Montgomery? She was the one that was the bewitched lady. Or Barbara Eden was the lady who was the I Dream of Jeannie lady. So, if they were going to catch a crook, which one do you think would actually catch the crook? All right, so that is that. It doesn't really need any ribbon. It's too cute even without, but it does need that mat. So where did I put that mat? I know I had it. There you are. So you've got your Blushing Bride mat. And we will be about done. Tabitha. There you go, Tabitha. That was the little girl. You think Tabitha would catch the crook? Because actually Tabitha seemed pretty smart, huh? Yeah, she's pretty cute. Now, I think there was another show, a newer version of it, That was Tabitha. Are you talking about the new one? New TV show? I never watch new things. I'm like totally stuck in the 60s and 70s. And then for movies, basically, even though I wasn't born yet, stuck in the 40s, 30s and 40s, and a couple of 50s. But not much. Oh, cute, cute, cute. All right, ladies, so there you go. So fancy phrases. You can do a lot of fun things with fancy phrases, right? And a white gel pen. I know you've got other stuff. So, oops, where am I grabbing here? Oh, there you are. Okay. Yay, my camera actually turned without it going kawonkers because it's been doing that. My cheeks are nice and red. One of the questions also was if you were like a vegetable, which vegetable would you be? And I didn't get to that question until just now, but I of course picked a tomato for me. If you're the most like a vegetable, which vegetable would you be like? I have these little vegetable-y, tomatoey cheeks. So I would be a tomato, just like Bob the tomato. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you go on to Stampin' Up's website, you know, you can always buy fancy phrases. You can buy Quite Curvy. The stamp set Quite Curvy is the one that came with those dies that are the curves. You can buy your Blushing Bride and your Whisper White, or just white now, since Whisper White has been changed to basic white. A couple of pens and whatnot, and you will easily have gotten to $50, and you'll get free SAB, celebration items. You're getting free things every time you buy something that costs $50 or more at Stampin' Up! So don't forget to do that. And thank you again for watching. I will see you next week, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.